A nation on the edge, the 2024 U.S. presidential election is poised to be one of the most consequential in recent history. The race between incumbent Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump is tight. Key swing states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin will likely determine the outcome. The stakes are high for both countries. The election will have significant implications for the U.S. and its global relationships, including its partnership with India. The outcome in these states could swing the Electoral College in either direction. Both candidates have passionate supporters. They also face strong opposition from the other side of the political spectrum. The world is watching closely. The result will impact global affairs for years to come. This election is not just about domestic issues. Foreign policy is a major point of contention. The U.S.-India relationship is particularly important. India is a rising power in Asia. The U.S. sees India as a key partner in countering China's influence. The election will determine the future direction of this crucial relationship. The next 4 years will be critical. Global challenges require strong leadership. The U.S. needs a steady hand on the wheel. The world will be watching closely as Americans head to the polls. The future of the U.S. and its place in the world is at stake. Economic visions. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump present starkly different economic visions for the United States. Harris, a proponent of a more progressive agenda, emphasizes social safety nets, investments in renewable energy, and affordable healthcare. Her economic policies are likely to focus on reducing income inequality and promoting sustainable growth. This approach could mean higher taxes for corporations and wealthy individuals. Trump, on the other hand, favors a more traditional, business-centric approach. He advocates for tax cuts, deregulation, and protectionist trade policies. His focus on America First economics resonates with his base. However, critics argue that his policies primarily benefit the wealthy and exacerbate income inequality. These differing economic philosophies have significant implications for India. A Harris administration, with its focus on green energy, could open up opportunities for Indian companies in the renewable energy sector. Her emphasis on social programs may lead to increased government spending. This could create opportunities for Indian companies in sectors like healthcare and IT. The Trump presidency, with its emphasis on manufacturing and protectionist trade policies, could pose challenges for Indian exporters. His focus on bringing back manufacturing jobs to the U.S. could lead to increased tariffs on Indian goods. This would hurt Indian businesses that rely on exports to the U.S. market. Trade winds. Navigating the global market. Trade relations between the United States and India are complex. They are marked by both cooperation and contention. The two countries are major trading partners. They also compete in several key sectors. The 2024 U.S. election could significantly impact this dynamic. Harris has expressed a commitment to multilateralism. She supports strengthening global trade partnerships. However, she has also indicated a willingness to use tariffs strategically. This is especially true when addressing labor and environmental concerns. This suggests a balanced approach to trade. Trump, known for his America First agenda, favors bilateral trade agreements. He views them as more advantageous for the U.S. He has shown a willingness to impose tariffs. He uses them as leverage in trade negotiations. This approach has created uncertainty in the global trading system. The outcome of the election will have significant implications for India's trade relations. A Harris administration could lead to greater stability and predictability in trade relations. Her focus on multilateralism may benefit India. It would provide access to a broader network of trading partners. A Trump presidency, with its focus on bilateral deals and aggressive negotiating tactics, could create both opportunities and challenges for India. India might benefit from preferential trade agreements. However, it could also face pressure to make concessions in areas like intellectual property rights. Section 4. Energy and Defense, Partnerships and Policies. Energy and defense cooperation are two crucial pillars of the U.S.-India strategic partnership. The 2024 election will likely shape the trajectory of these collaborations. Both Harris and Trump recognize the importance of India in their respective foreign policy agendas. However, their approaches differ significantly. Harris has championed a transition to clean and renewable energy. She sees climate change as an existential threat. She has called for increased investments in solar and wind power. She supports international cooperation on climate action. This stance aligns with India's growing focus on renewable energy. It could lead to enhanced collaboration in this sector. Trump's energy policy centers on promoting American energy independence. He supports the use of fossil fuels. He has rolled back environmental regulations. He withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement. This approach could create friction with India. India is a signatory to the Paris Agreement. It is actively pursuing renewable energy sources. In defense, Harris supports strengthening the U.S.-India partnership. She sees it as crucial to counter China's growing assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific region. She has called for increased defense cooperation. She supports arms sales to India. This approach is likely to continue the trend of closer defense ties between the two countries. Trump has also emphasized the importance of the U.S.-India defense relationship. He has approved several major arms sales to India. However, his unpredictable foreign policy and transactional approach have created some uncertainty. This makes it difficult for India to fully rely on the U.S. as a long-term security partner. Section 5. Immigration and Innovation. The Indian IT sector. The Indian IT sector, a major driver of the country's economic growth, is heavily reliant on the U.S. market. The outcome of the 2024 U.S. election will significantly impact this vital sector. Immigration policies, in particular, are a key concern for the Indian IT industry. Harris has expressed support for comprehensive immigration reform. She recognizes the contributions of highly skilled immigrants to the U.S. economy. She supports increasing the number of H-1B visas. These visas are crucial for Indian IT professionals seeking to work in the U.S. Her approach could benefit the Indian IT industry by providing a more predictable and welcoming environment. Trump, on the other hand, has taken a more restrictive stance on immigration. He has implemented policies that make it more difficult for high-skilled workers to obtain visas. He has imposed stricter regulations on H-1B visas. He has expressed skepticism about the need for foreign workers. His policies have created uncertainty and anxiety for Indian IT companies and professionals. The impact of these contrasting policies on the Indian IT sector is significant. A Harris administration, with its more welcoming stance on immigration, could provide a much-needed boost to the industry. Increased access to H-1B visas would allow Indian IT companies to continue tapping into the vast pool of talent in India. This would benefit both the US and Indian economies. A Trump presidency, with its continued focus on restricting immigration, could have a detrimental impact on the Indian IT industry. Further restrictions on H-1B visas would force Indian companies to reduce their presence in the US. This would lead to job losses and a decline in revenue. It could also stifle innovation in the US tech sector.